There you go.
Okay, welcome to tonight's regular council meeting for the Village of Armada. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll take roll, please.
Shaw.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
Conan.
Here.
Adair. Here. Stirrup.
Here.
Belkey.
Here.
Okay, we've had a chance to review the agenda. Can I have a motion for approval?
I'll move to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion by Clark, supported by Shaw. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Citizens' comment.
Hi, my name is Sam Belkey. I live at 73715 Fulton Street. I just have a quick update from the parking committee that we're meeting tomorrow night rather than last week because people were away on vacation. So in the meantime, we've been gathering information. Tomorrow we're going to discuss our list of problems and we're going to decide on this is the area that we're going to look at and then we're going to prioritize them based on their impact to the community. We've invited the police chief and anybody else who's interested is welcome to come up with a solution. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else? Okay. There's no presentations. Moving on to administrative reports. You want to start with the planning commission, Mike?
Yeah, we talked about village ordinances turned into the planner for verbiage on parking restrictions in front of the homes with the conditions of the fairgrounds. So we wanted him to word that, put that in there. So that was one of the main things that we discussed.
Parking at homes during the fair.
Yes,
Okay.
that they'd be able to do that. They would still be able to park in front of the, homes and backyards and wherever else they park.
Well, the backyards aren't really part of that.
No.
I think.
Right, it'd just be the front yards, right?
Okay. Anything else, Mike?
Fence heights, we discussed the fence heights also. Other than that, I can't think of anything else.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
I will.
Okay, Mike.
Since I'm first on F&B's report, as you see, it's attached to April's report. Nothing of alarm included in the wastewater portion. Normal stuff, no call-outs, that's always good. And I was just there, was it Thursday of last week, and everything seemed to be functioning just fine, even with all the rain we've had, although I did not know about this week. But prior to that, the rain did not cause any problems there. Okay?
Okay, thank you. Next, Ross, you got anything for the water department?
Yeah.
Yes. Spent a lot of time on water stuff over the last couple of weeks. Dave and I did meet with USG on the water towers. You recall they cleaned the tower about a month ago, so we've gotten our condition assessment report, which is good. We've got our rooftop component inspection certificate for Eagle, so that's good. I'll send those on to Eagle. We did review the tower contract, so we're in about year 15 of a 20-year tower contract. Principally looking at that for an opportunity to do better, but the more I look at this, the more we've got a very good tower contract, and we should probably continue it on once this expires. So something that our future water commissioner needs to start planning for. It's a good contract. We don't want to lose this one because it's favorable to us. I did ask for reimbursement of Dave's overtime. While the guys from USDG did a great job cleaning the tower, they were a couple hours late from what they told us, and so Dave had to stick around and charged overtime for staying to make sure things were done appropriately, and so we're going to get reimbursed by USG for his time. So we did that. Been responding to a number of customer questions regarding HydroCorp's residential inspections. Are predominantly focused over in the Armada Meadows 3, the new sub. Lots of good questions. Most of them deal with sprinkler systems, and we're able to take care of those. So we did send out a letter of instruction or a advisory letter before those inspections started, but people may not have had a chance to read them or whatever. In any case, we're covering those. We are getting ready for coming up in June to do lead service line sampling, which is a EGLE requirement every 3 years. We're going to try to do that the second week in June. Involves about 20 residences that have been on a list. Every once in a while one changes, but we're getting geared up for that. We will be sending letters to those residences just to make sure that they're aware this is coming up, and then they get an instruction letter when they get their sample bottles dropped off. We also have, starting the 17th of June, sometime after the 17th of June, we're hydrovacing 150 services, predominantly at the valve stop or the curb stop, it's also called. And we'll get a letter out to, in general, to the community on that, and we'll be putting information up on the website just for awareness. We're not turning anybody's water off or anything, but we are investigating to try to determine the composition of the service lines. I did get Ro's quote on the water reliability study. That includes a separate amount for a hydrological study, for additional wells, and for a capacity study, just to see if development happens, how much more capacity we have or what we would need comfortably. So I haven't had a chance to really evaluate that. I'll be doing that over the next 2 weeks. I think this is like the third or fourth time I said I'm going to bring that to the next meeting, but now that I've got it, it'll show up at the next council meeting, first one in June.
Do you have Dave tied into those things too?
Most of these things. He hasn't seen the row information because I haven't seen it yet. I usually talk to him about this stuff. He was involved in the water tower discussion, and he's been involved with the hydrovacing and the lead service line discussions.
And just in case the Army called you back, I want to be able to have Dave do that.
I don't think they want me with my back, but I appreciate what you're saying. Yeah, try to keep him in the loop. We generally try to do a once-a-month meeting of F&V operator in charge. Catherine Wynn, who's the what is Catherine now? She's
Regional manager.
She's a regional manager, for lack of a better word, and Dave and I, and go over pertinent issues. So yeah, that's a good question. For something completely different, I have been keeping an eye on the township's development of their master plan, and I've made a number of comments to those. I did tell them they were using 10-year-old data when there's much newer data. 10-year-old data puts the village in a very bad light compared to the township. I also said it's beyond time where you acknowledge the fact that the village is part of the township. You can say, since the village does its own planning, that you're not going to talk about the village and then go on and talk about the things in the township proper. But I said, you really need to acknowledge that. That's irritating the hell out of me, because I've been paying taxes to the
I was
township.
going to say, they'll be acknowledging you in a few weeks, because you'll be getting that tax bill.
Well, they also put in there again that they were not willing to annex, and I said, that's an old chestnut, because your attorney has advised them they lose nothing by annexing to the village. They do when they lose to Romeo or Richmond Township, but they lose nothing when the village annexes property. So to their credit, they are making changes. They've got newer data and they are acknowledging the village as a part of the town. It's just, you know, slowly but surely we're making some changes. So their meeting to review the master plan is on 6th of June, if you get a chance to go. Try to be there. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Russ. You got anything, Steve, on roads?
No, not this time.
Okay, well, hopefully soon we'll have a road commissioner and we'll be able to free you up.
Well, my talks with Paul from Rowe kind of reiterated, I asked him, are we on schedule? And he says we are. So he's talking about
Simon's and First Street.
Simon's and First Street in the fall. So
Yeah. Did he tell you when when the bid package will be ready?
I
It's
don't
coming
know
up.
off the top of
Yeah,
my
that's
head.
coming up.
Yeah, it is coming
Yeah.
up. And he had a set of plans in here, and I had a phone conversation with him last week, going over the plans. And things are looking good, it's moving along.
Okay. Joe, you have anything?
There is no police report for this meeting.
Okay, then moving on from administrative reports to the consent agenda.
I resolve to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Support that.
There,
Second by Belkey. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's approved. No business. Under new business, we have a part-time DPW laborer.
And I put this under Ross because he actually asked for it to be on, but after I talked to him, he told me that Steve and Dave had interviewed somebody on Friday. So, I don't know if Ross wants to take it or if Steve does, because it's just,
You both should.
Yeah, I would
both of you
just say,
think
I kind of pushing it, given that we had a qualified candidate. Again, I'm just being a bit of a nervous Nelly, because I've got a lot of water stuff coming up starting in June, and Dave may not be able to cut grass. He's got to focus on this water stuff if he doesn't have an additional body. Again, I don't want a body that's not qualified, but I know that there had been talk of a candidate, and Steve and Dave did interview. Just as a note, I try to do things, and I know Jeff, Michelle talked with you about this a little bit. Really what I was trying to do was make sure council agreed on what the conditions for employment were as one motion, and then my hope of hopes was that, given that we didn't have anybody, that if they found somebody, that we didn't have to wait for another council meeting, that council could give hiring authority to probably Steve and Dave if they agreed on an employee, but it sounds like they've got somebody now, so.
So in our ad, or when we advertised, did we have a date that they had to have?
no, it was just open-ended because we weren't getting anything.
Okay,
Yeah.
so do we have a candidate?
We do.
Do we want to present him tonight, or do you want to,
No, I'd like to do it as soon as we can, or give Dave that authority, but the interview went well. I believe he'd be a good candidate, and again, this candidate is probationary candidate, so if things don't, if you realize after a couple of weeks or a month that it's not working, then,
I think, and he's a part-time employee?
yes, this is a part-time
Now,
employee.
do we have to keep him under 40 hours a week?
Yes, 30,
Yes,
it was
not
30
more than
hours.
30 hours.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, if you want to make a motion, hire.
Okay, Dave, can you give me that paperwork so I can get the name? I don't
Yes.
have that.
He's definitely got, you can tell his experience, and he's a good fit.
Yeah.
Have you offered a dollar amount? Or you get an
You-
offer?
He's asking for 18, and that would be my recommendation, pay him 18.
And that's falls within the range we have kind of talked, between 17 and 19.
That's what we paid before. didn't we?
I believe it is.
I'm
Is it
good
in the
with
budget?
Yes.
Yeah.
Put that in your motion and
Did you,
people can vote yes
did you
or
wanna
no.
go, I mean, these were the conditions that I understood, so if you wanna, so this would be, I know, yeah, so that's 18,
Do they need to make both motions or just the bottom?
Or-
one? The bottom one's what we always do,
and that's his
Just the
name.
bottom.
is just to extend a blah, 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 and offer part-time employment with the Village of Armada Department of Public Works at a rate of blah.
Yeah.
Hours starting after pre-employment background check and physical drug
So
screen.
it doesn't lay out the number of hours per week.
Give me a second here. Let me just.
It didn't when we hired Thomas either, but we could
But
add
you
that in.
should add that it's no more than 30 hours a week.
Yeah, if you look at those two motions I had, this is, Steve is trying to jam them both together, I think, because the one talks, there's no CDL requirement, it's not more than 30 hours, it's,
Is that what I wrote? You could just add a wage.
the wage rate, the rate we're looking at is $18 an hour, subject to passing a physical and a drug test. No benefits to be provided, and we talked about the CDL. And as I understand it, part-time employment will end not later than 30 June.
Right, and he
Don't need 'em
understands it's
over the
part-time and has a term limit on it.
What date was that, Ross?
30.
Not later than 30 June.
No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
30
it's
November.
open.
30 November.
30, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lead service line stuff is in my brain here, so 30 November.
I think I'm ready here.
Can I just ask one question, Steve? Ross, your first motion has an end date. I mean, do you want to say unless otherwise extended by the village council? The only reason I'm asking is if this person's working out, I mean, I don't know, I mean.
I would like to leave doors open if I
Yeah,
can. I mean,
I agree.
It doesn't prevent you from
Yeah.
turning it into a full-time position, but I wouldn't say it here.
Well, you are saying
We're
it.
not
There's no
saying
guarantee
full-time.
in
Yeah, we're not.
We're just saying longer part-time.
Because if you have a full-time employment available, you can't just give it to him.
Right.
It would have to come back to
Right.
council.
All I'm saying is the way it's written, and I'm not being critical, I'm just saying this, regardless, the employment's gonna end November 30th. So you're gonna have to take action if you're gonna extend it, and that's what I'm
Yes.
saying.
Right.
Right.
So you would just say
We have to
November
do it.
30th unless otherwise extended.
By who? That's the.
By
only-
council.
By council.
Extended by council.
I just think, again, if it's somebody that works out, we're always
Yeah.
looking for people, it's,
Yeah, you know,
Yeah, I know Ann's concerned about budget, so it's, but
It's your job.
So past practice has been that we would come to council first and then hire somebody, but we're in a time crunch. I just don't want going forward that it becomes precedent that, you know, in my opinion, my 2 cents, that we do it this way where we're not following what we've been doing for 50 years or however many years. I would just like us to go back.
yeah,
to
but I
the
would just
way.
say, do we gotta, at this point, it's 2024,
well, we've
you know,
done
does
the
it pass
interview,
service?
we've advertised for
Sure.
people. We've kinda hit all our markers
I'm
here.
not saying we didn't do our due diligence, but in the past, we had a process and we're veering from that a little bit, right? Just a little bit, because time is of the essence. That's just my opinion, I don't wanna say, unless we all decide we wanna change precedent.
Well, my concern
We need a
is,
policies
we're
and
hiring
procedures.
him to cut grass. And come November, we have this opening up in the DPW. He's got different qualifications, he's gonna have to.
Well-
Because he is gonna have to get a CDL and he is gonna have
that's
to.
a-
Yeah, but we're not talking about, right
Well, I'm just
now,
talking about saying if, unless otherwise extended.
Right.
After
Yeah.
November, I mean,
You
we're
don't need
gonna
a
have
part-time.
this
We're leaving
weird.
yourself
well,
open. Yeah.
Valid point.
that's just some wording, you know, it doesn't mean you
Yeah.
have to extend it. It certainly doesn't mean we're hiring a full-time person or anything.
I mean,
And that
Joe,
really shouldn't even be part of our discussion right now.
I mean, right
See,
now
it's
it's
a big
grass, but in the
budget.
fall
Right
it's
now,
gonna be
we're
getting
hiring a
leaves,
part-time
right? We're gonna be like,
person.
who's
Yeah.
gonna get the leaves? And
Yeah,
then
that's true.
Christmas, it's gonna be putting up the
Yeah.
downtown
Steve,
stuff, and
can you
then,
read that?
you know,
We don't have it in the.
But we
budget.
might want a
Just read that
part-timer
on
for longer than that, but as of, for now,
Well, I
this
say you
is,
can't pay him any longer, because there's no
Yeah,
budget for
because it's
it.
not in the budget.
yeah.
So if you work for free. you
Okay,
got-
I
you
think
win.
we're ready.
Yeah, he wants to volunteer.
Steve's,
We don't have that police stuff in the budget.
Steve's right.
I know.
Steve's got the drum roll.
I'm good with not putting that in.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion. Let it be resolved to extend Jaden Schobel an offer of part-time employment with the Village of Armada Department of Public Works at a rate of $18 an hour, starting after pre-employment, background check, physical, and drug screening. Employee will work no more than 30 hours a week. No benefits will be provided. A CDL is not required. The part-time employee will end no later than
The part-time employment will end.
Employment will end no later than November 30th, 2024, unless otherwise extended by council.
Support.
Can I have that back?
Yeah,
And I need
Okay,
his name, yeah, here, oh, thank you.
I'll give you,
Okay.
we
Yeah, I
need a roll call on this.
Let me contract. Okay. Clark,
yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Adair. You want me to come back to you? No.
Does maybe work? Well, yes, it's already been, yes.
Both the way you feel.
Yeah, just concerned about a couple of things.
And Stirrett.
yes.
That's it, right? I got everybody?
I think you do. Okay, motion's approved.
Thank you, everyone.
Moving on. Upcoming agenda items. Well, I got one.
So do I. Go ahead.
So I-
I think we're going to,
So do I.
Got a full agenda next time.
yeah. Okay,
Okay, so appointing of a council person, because the ad said till May 31st. We do have one
She
in,
needs that.
but we don't have any
for
more,
the name and
so.
stuff.
I mean, if we get more, then you guys will have to interview
What's that?
at the next meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah, change mine, so.
yeah, I got a letter in there. You have something for the agenda?
Yes. Well, if you take care of our meetings, we won't have police issues that we will be bringing back to council.
Well, you wanna wait till we have our meeting, then add it onto the agenda if you
No,
need to?
she'll have it to me before the time's up, she knows.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
She knows the
Okay.
ropes,
So, yeah, I've
so,
been down that road.
yeah, so police stuff. It's okay. Okay, everybody else?
Michelle, I'm reluctant to tell you, but for about the 10,000th time, the Row Water Reliability Study quote, I'll bring that up.
Hey, if it doesn't come up, you can always pull it off for us.
Yeah, it's gonna be a habit, that's a bad habit.
Okay, do we have any other,
Upcoming events.
no, we're on
Not yet.
agenda
You're
items.
jumping ahead, we know what's
I know,
coming now.
I know you're excited and we know where you're going.
Let me fill that in.
Okay, do we have any other citizen comments? Okay, moving on. Council comment.
Not community events, council.
All right, well, I have a comment on the Build-A-Bear Playscape. I talked to them, and they're saying June 10th is when they're gonna come over here and start putting it in. That's the date he gave me.
And how long
Yay.
does it take to build it?
They said 2 to 3 days.
Oh, nice,
And
nice,
Steve's gonna give me the information for
Yeah.
that's
where we're gonna
awesome.
put it. He's been so kind to use his.
Have you
Skills.
decided where it's going?
Yeah.
Are there any other council comments?
We need to start working on policies and procedures, so that's gonna come up at some point, not probably next meeting. But once we get a new council person in here, we just need to sit down and discuss policies and procedures, because there's a lot,
Well, we
so.
might have to have a special meeting for
Or,
that.
yeah, a workshop before a meeting, workshops possibly, so.
I know we're missing a body, so it's, makes it difficult. As I said last meeting, though, I would like to get some kind of an update on the gravel approach to the DPW yard when we get a chance. I know that was an action that Chris was working, the East Lathrop Street agreement. I know Chris was working on that.
Okay, let's go back. What gravel agreement now?
The gravel approach.
Oh,
Yeah, the orchard and,
okay,
Oh, you mean the
and
parking
Armada
lot?
Green had
Yeah.
asked
Parking lot,
okay, yeah.
some kind of contribution to their grading and graveling.
Yes.
I know, Chris told me it was almost done about a year ago, so, same thing with the.
Well, again, they may have to get back to us on that. We told
No,
them-
that's fine, I
We
just,
told them we'd work with them on that.
yeah, I just.
well, I think they just
for a
need to be
status update.
contacted.
I would like to see something from the infrastructure committee. Again, it's kind of hobbled because Chris is gone, but part of it was and I know the focus this year is Simons and First Street, but kind of a path forward because it was supposed to help inform the
Yeah.
budget process.
And we kind of got to a tentative place, and then with Chris leaving, Steve wanted to concentrate on First and Simon's.
We're not gonna
first
have
and
this next meeting.
Right.
I don't
No.
expect it at the next meeting, but I would
Right.
like to, and I'm happy to jump back in. Remember, this was kind of my baby for a while, but
We just need
I
to
think
make
you
sure
got
that
enough going.
grant.
I got a lot going on.
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, just like to get some kind of an update if we can, and then, no, and that's it, for just council comments.
Okay,
Okay,
community.
moving on?
Community events.
Yes, Mike, go.
Yeah, the concerts in the park, starting June 12th.
June 12th.
Yes, that's the first Wednesday or second Wednesday of the month.
Okay.
And I put all the signs up for the sponsors we had. We got a couple late ones that came in, so I have to put those up, but they're all up on the fence.
Great.
Mike, I've kicked Dave a couple times to get those park benches out of the grass because they're sunk into the seats at this point, and stick them on the asphalt. I'll let you handle it from here, but,
Okay, he did say he would do it.
okay. I just
I'd like to
can't use
thank Mike, he went up and varnished the sign, right?
Yeah, and painted it too. Painted the posts and I didn't paint the green part. I didn't have to paint for that, but.
Certainly appreciate you doing that. Now,
Yeah, thanks,
you
Mike.
may have to paint that playscape a couple of times. Don't we have to do that every
It's
few
gonna have to
years?
be every, like 3 years, every 3 years. It's like a deck, you know,
So,
you have to put a coat.
make sure you put those brushes, like the brushes and the varnish in the
in the.
budget, and we'll get it for you.
All right.
Okay,
I think he
Any-
needs to chew
any-
out the water commissioner who owes him a cap for the pump house. I haven't forgot.
I look at that and I think of you, Rob.
No, you do. I look at it, and I think of me too.
any other community events?
Is hydrovac and 150 water services, is that considered? No, I'm just.
No.
That is not a community event.
Yeah, you would.
They pay for itself.
It may, yeah, it will. It will be.
That comes under administrative reports, you're already done.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Dave,
so,
real quick, it looks like Pal Camp's on the corners this weekend.
yes. That was
Just so
part of
everyone
the,
on the camera knows.
that was part of the, right.
Yeah, I mean, just passing that on.
No, that's good. So, we have no closed session tonight, so we would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting
At what time?
at 7:29.
Support.
You're trainable, that's good.
Okay. Motion by
It's
Stern,
your job there.
Mike and
supported by Belkey.
No, Sean.
Sean, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.